Hey, this is Ciderhelm, and welcome back to Turning Point. For today's episode, I want to look at a series of events that completely shaped the outcome of this match. Like previous episodes where we've talked about specific players such as Teemo and Draven, we're going to get an opportunity to look at a very solid Nidalee player. And though we're going to look at a team fight, the turning point in this match is more than just one event. At this moment, Nidalee has found herself surrounded by 4 opponents. She won't get away, but amazingly she still takes out Ahri before she goes down. The score is 13-9 in blue team's favor. Blue team is also up by 700 gold and both teams are tied on towers. This gives blue team a very slight advantage in the game. With a 4-kill lead, the gold gap between teams is not as strong as it should be, and this is partly the result of better farming from purple team. Ezreal makes a fairly critical mistake here. Gangplank applies a stacking slow through his parlay and his normal attacks, and Ezreal waits to blink long enough that Gangplank has applied his strongest slow. He didn't need to, and he will die as a result. Even though Blitzcrank is able to pick up a kill on Gangplank, knocking out Ezreal is a net positive for purple team. This is because Ezreal is the highest damage player on blue team, and with him out of the picture, purple team can safely engage. Check out this initiation. Blitzcrank pulled Nidalee in, but she instantly flashed out. At almost the same moment that she flashed out, Malphite flashed in and used his ultimate towards Blitzcrank and Ahri. This went from a good grab from Blitzcrank to an even better counter initiation from Malphite. Nidalee's next spear is already in the air and is guaranteed to hit Blitzcrank. As Blitz goes down, Ahri is forced to use her ultimate to escape to her tower. At worst, purple team now only has to worry about 3 players, with Ahri at half health with her ultimate down. With Caitlyn, Lulu, and Nidalee, all of whom have long-range harassment, blue team will not even be able to come near their tower to defend it. As an assassin, Zed relies on being able to burst opponents down, but despite a 4-level advantage, he was not able to take down the extraordinarily survivable Lulu. Having overextended in his chase, this cost him and his team another death. Both teams are moving in for an engagement at Dragon. Right off the bat, Nidalee lands a spear on Ezreal that obliterates him. With this, the fight may as well be a 5v4 as Ezreal will not come anywhere near purple team through the entire engagement at Dragon. Purple team moves further towards Dragon to bait out the engagement, but Nidalee stays near the first river entrance. There are 3 things to point out. First, Ahri has managed to dodge Nidalee's next spear. This is because Blitzcrank warded the brush Nidalee was in just seconds ago, giving her some warning. Second, let's look at Ezreal's ultimate. This is mainly important because Caitlyn will move out of its path by the time it reaches her, meaning it won't hit anyone at all. This is a pretty brutal situation for Ezreal. Third, it's worth pointing out Trundle's pillar. Trundle has a lot of hidden strength in his abilities, in that he can reduce several stats on opponents without it being easily obvious to them. But one of his most visible strengths is the pillar, which creates impassable terrain and a massive slowing field around it. Unfortunately, this pillar has created a choke point that Malphite and Lulu are fully blocking, and it will allow Caitlyn to safely get damage out until it expires. The blue team finally begins to move in onto purple team, but the combination of ultimates from Malphite and Gangplank quickly make it clear that blue team will not win this fight. As Trundle, Ahri, and Zed engaged, Blitzcrank lost a huge chunk of his health from another spear. Nidalee gives chase, and despite Blitzcrank's exhaust, is able to easily keep up with him. He burns Flash just to dodge another spear. She then turns around to finish off Zed. From here, she engages Dragon with her team. With a freshly placed ward in the Dragon Pit, she knows Blitzcrank must be nearby and gives chase through the jungle. Without his Flash, he cannot survive. Then it turns on to Ezreal. With Dragon down, Caitlyn turns her focus to getting her ultimate off on him as Nidalee moves in for the cleanup. With blue team down and Dragon taken, they move to take out Baron. There is nothing their opponents can do about it. This final blow completes the turning point. From being a little behind, purple team now has a 3-kill lead, an extra tower, a more than 5,000 gold lead, and Baron buff. As the game comes to an end, there's no question that the star player of this match was Nidalee. That certainly doesn't mean her teammates played poorly, and we saw good ultimates from Malphite as well as good positioning from other allies. Blue team let themselves get drawn into this situation. In the first clip, Ahri did not need to stay around when 3 teammates already had Nidalee surrounded. In the second, Ezreal did not need to wait to blink away from Gangplank, and in the third, Zed did not need to overcommit on Lulu. By the time we got to the team fight, the team should have realized that the odds were not ever in their favor when Ezreal had to back off. It would have been better to just give up on Dragon. Thanks for watching this episode of Turning Point. Let me know in the comments below how you would have countered Nidalee.